Hello everyone, welcome to Redmen TV. It is player ratings time after Liverpool Football Club win another game of football. Standard, shock. We got our team back, we win games of football. I'm your host Ross Chanley. Please do get involved in the comments. I know lots of you have done so far. We're going to do a little man of the match poll at the end of the show as well, which should be on the screen. Should be the instructions how to do it. Should be vote exclamation mark space plus the number of the player you think is man of the match. But do keep your comments coming in for either man of the match and the ratings. We'll go through them one by one from the starting 11 to all through the three substitutes that were used in that game. Just some of your comments first. Samuel Charles says Allison is man of the match. We'll have that debate in a little bit. He also noticed that Tom put Norwich initially, which has now been changed to Crystal Palace. He was still blown away by Naby Keita's goal, as we all should be. And 1982, obviously Dan says, anyone else tempted to give Millie another 10-year contract? Yeah, we will very much come on to him in a second. So let's start with Allison Becker. Tested quite a few times in that game, whether it's crosses, it was shots, or just kind of second balls. I think initially that first bit where I think it's Zaha, the ball's floated into him. If his first touch is a little bit better, he should be in. Crystal Palace should be 1-0 up at that point, but it's not, and it goes behind Allison Becker, who's quick and just scoops it round and keeps his clean sheet. Also, it happened several times. I think Virgil van Dijk, there was a little bit of miscommunication, but he scoops it up, and with Konate as well. I've actually got some stats on Allison Becker actually that I just wanted to talk through. So for score, giving a rating of 7.6, which is obviously pretty fair. But 2 saves, 1 for inside the box, 1 punch, 1 run out successful, 2 high claims, accurate passes 18, which is 81.8%. They've done the maths there, not me. Long balls, 6 out of 10. Just a very impressive performance from Allison Becker. It's, not that we ever take it for granted, but I think it can be mentioned quite a few times that the standard that he produces time and time again for this club. And like I said before, we conceded 1 goal so far in the Premier League, and obviously 2 against AC Milan. I think it's actually been exceptional. 8 for Allison. Lots of people voting 9s and 10s. Yeah, I think I'm tempted to give Allison Becker a 9 out of 10 for that one. If you agree or disagree, keep your comments coming. Kostas, tsimikas. Again, I think the jury for some people is still out on Kostas tsimikas. Can he fill in for Andy Robertson? Obviously, Crystal Palace are a very attacking side, but I actually really enjoyed, I can say that now that we won the game, that battle that he had on the right-hand side with AU. I think, it was relentless. It was bit shaky at times, but I thought, his persistence to do the defensive work, but also at times when he's bombing round, and I mentioned before on the last show that I did, these little overlaps that he's doing for Sadio Mane, and the inside channel as well between him and Thiago, to provide support for Sadio Mane, to take a man out away from Mane, buying some space, or essentially just to whip the ball in. One moment I think he gave away a bit of a sloppy free kick on Conor Gallagher, which is just a bit wild and a bit rash, but I think that can happen. But one thing I am keen to mention is the standard of the club that you have to be now to come in for the likes of, the best left back certainly in the league for me, whether in world football, Andy Robertson. I thought he did exceptionally well. Yeah, so I'm very happy with him. 1982, obviously Dan says tsimikas going up against Zaha did well. Salah did a lot of work to help him out. It was actually the other way around. It was Milner that was up against Zaha. But Ahmad Matar says 8. Stuart Morris says 8 as well, some 7s. Kostas 7 out of 10. 7. Yeah, I'm just going to give him 7.5. Because I think you could argue for a 7 or an 8 for Kostas tsimikas, and we'd be fairly happy with either of those. Virgil van Dijk back in the side after having a little rest against AC Milan. I thought he had a quiet game. I think he just does things that keep him under the radar because it's just so natural and so easy for him. Crystal Palace tried to mix it up a bit. They're going left with Zaha, right with AU at times, particularly in the second half. Early on, they were trying to play long balls up to Christian Benteke, and it was just food and drink for these two guys. So whatever Crystal Palace threw at us, we were able to handle it. A clean sheet between the pair of lads. I'm sure they'll be very happy with that. And also for Virgil van Dijk, I think it's all important to remember that with the changes that are around him as well, so it's not like he's had his rest, he's just coming back in. He's coming back in with 3 other lads that I don't think he's really played with before, certainly in competitive football. So it's guarding the likes of Kostas tsimikas through the game, providing a bit of support for him, making sure that Konate is all right, making his Premier League debut, and Luke James Milner down that other side of just making things that this high line of defensive stability that Liverpool have got is being maintained throughout the game. Yeah, someone else saying 8, 9 for Van Dijk, Virgil 8, lots of 10s. Yeah, do you know what? Let's give him an 8 out of 10 for Virgil van Dijk, because I thought he did exceptional. Konate again making his Premier League debut. I really enjoyed his performance, and it was 2 moments that stand out for me. for Konate. One is which he's kind of one-on-one with Benteke. Benteke's obviously on his right-hand side. He just does well to kind of use his strength or shoot him. He doesn't grab hold of him at any point or panic. You know, he obviously uses his strength. Obviously, there's a bit of mix-up with arms, but then he sticks his foot out and he concedes a corner. Great defensive display. And then a different attack against a different attacker, type of attacker, I should say, in Zaha, just something very, very similar. So I think his composure, the fact that he backs himself and never really causes any issues at all, thought was an exceptional display from Konate as well. So I think he should be very happy with his debut. He should be very happy with a clean sheet. Mohamed, as I say, vote 9. Konate, 8.5 from Abi Noor. Mohamed Matar saying 9. Konate 6. Absolutely, Konate was outstanding today despite facing Zaha and Benteke, who were on fire. 7 out of 10, needs more confidence. Confidence will come. His Premier League debut, imagine, you know, was he 21 years, 22 years of age, making your Premier League debut, the pressure that's on you against, you know, let's give Crystal Palace some credit, some defensive attacking displays from them as well. Someone absolutely spamming the chat there, Tom, if you can sort that out. Let's give him an 8 as well, because I think he deserved it. James Milner, next up, who I said on the last show, towards the end of the watch-along, was one of my shouts to man of the match. All the talk from me before the game was, don't really fancy him against Wilf Zaha. I think he's going to get booked. When's he going to get booked? Just, what do I know? Absolutely nothing. Not only did he get booked, I thought he had an exceptional performance. Defensive to play spot on. 1 or 2 times where he got caught out by Wilf Zaha, or Zaha went past him. That is going to happen. Zaha can do that against some of the best right-backs in the league. Never mind someone who's 35, 36 years of age. And there's one moment where he did get past him as well, actually, and got drove into the box. And James Milner's recovery, I thought, was exceptional. And then again, going forward, you know, overlap, underlap, providing that spot, being bombing down the right-hand side. There was times where we'd shift the ball to the left-hand side and we'd create space for James Milner. And every time, you know, he's filling that role of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Okay, he might not be as creative as him, or his final ball in isn't as good as Trent. But I thought, you know, when you're asking for people to come in and be backups or rotate, I couldn't have asked for anything better from James Milner in there as well. And big up James Milner for trying to get Conor Gallagher booked as well by absolutely leathering the ball at him. I'm seeing lots of 10s. Milner should play goalkeeper. Millie was just immense for the entire game. Milner's my man of the match. Millie was everywhere, so much I didn't clock he was playing right back like a knob. Yeah, well done. 9, 9, 9. Yeah, I think 9. He's a beast even at his age. Hats off to Milner. Yeah, sound. Let's give James Milner a 9 because I think he thoroughly deserves it for keeping Liverpool in the game. Fabinho, again, just a standard Fabinho performance for me. Again, probably a bit like Virgil van Dijk. The standard and consistency is so high from these guys. I think, I take for granted it's not the right phrase, but I just think if you just go, okay, sound, he's playing his game, he's doing his job. But again, before the attacking threat of Crystal Palace, up against Konate, Conor Gallagher, I thought was exceptional in that game as well. I need to stop saying exceptional because I think I've said it about 50 times. He was very, very good. There you go. There's another word for that. But Fabinho, again, doing the dirty work, trying to put out fires, moving to the left to try and support tsimikas when Crystal Palace is attacking down this side, coming down here to help James Milner out as well. He's just boss. He's just the best defensive midfielder in the league for me. Fabinho a 9. Fabinho's poor game is 9 out of 10 on current form. That's a really good point there, actually. 8 Fabinho. Was fab today. Let's see if we can get some stats for Fabinho, actually. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Keep your comments coming, and I'll try and work out the sofa score. Premier League matches. Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, not Norwich. Lineups. So Fabinho stats are giving him a 7 out of 10. So he's 68 touches, 48 accurate passes. 3 out of 5 long balls, 3 out of 3 ground duels, 1 out of 1 aerial duels, possession lost 8 times, 3 clearances. Yeah, a great defensive display from Fabinho. And as that comment said there, a poor performance from him at the minute is a 9 out of 10. Fab 8 as always. Hi to Dave LFC Chats, who just says you are exceptional, Ross. Thanks, Dave. Hi, Dave. Go and check out Dave's LFC Chats in there as well. One of the, I want to say sour grapes in this game, Thiago, and obviously not him and his performance and what he did, but obviously he goes off with an injury. I think it's roughly around the hour mark there. Actually had a little collision with Wilf Zaha. Hopefully it's not too serious. Again, I've not seen anything on that, so if you know, let me know in the comments. If you don't, I'll try and find out, and we'll do it in this show or the next show. But again, I think there was lots of questions of whether, well, first of all, this midfield is the one that we all wanted to see, and I think we're kind of seeing that calmness and composure from Thiago of kind of drop. He almost kind of played this role at times during this game, especially when obviously Crystal Palace were attacking on either side of Fabinho. He'd come in and help out as well, but it was almost the outlet. You know, that ability that he's got in between tight spaces to control the ball, buy himself 5 yards, and then when he buys himself 5 yards in this kind of position, just in a defensive midfield in our half, it's head up, let's look to see what's on, and he's spraying balls out to Mane, out to Mohamed Salah, or even James Milner, at some point in Kostas tsimikas. So he's keeping Liverpool on the attack, he's keeping Liverpool's pace and intensity into the game. So yeah, that's fine. Ed Sexton says ratings a bit too high all the time, just doesn't seem to me much of people get 8s and 9s when we weren't amazing. Fair enough. That's what it is. It's just opinions. It's just numbers. If you think they're too high, you let me know your ratings in the comments below. I'm just happy that Liverpool won a game of football against a tough opposition who I think we should give a bit of credit to, if I'm being completely honest. Eric Forbes said I would have lost it if Thiago scored that header. Yeah, very good point actually. It's a great cross, but it feels like Thiago's got no right to get that header actually, and for him to actually get his head on it, leap like a salmon, as Errol put during the watch along, and get it on target, test the goalkeeper. And to be fair, if Jota takes his chance, then we're all sat here and we're very happy with his performance as well. So yeah, Kostas Thiago was man of the match. Mental. Thiago 9. Thiago was the best player on the pitch until he got injured. 8s. Okay, well we'll give him an 8 then. Again, if you disagree, then that's completely fine. We'll move on to Jordan Henderson. Keep your numbers coming in. Don't forget your man of the match ratings as well. Jordan Henderson, again, thought he's probably the perfect midfielder for that role actually, and there's one thing I mentioned before the game actually kicked off with his intensity, his drive, his pressing, not pressing necessarily at the top of the pitch. I don't think we did that so much today, but the intensity in his pressing in helping out James Milner and that right back position. You know, Crystal Palace looked to kind of overload with Mitchell and Zaha down the left hand side and almost double up at him. You could tell he was being targeted, and rightly so. Crystal Palace kind of, when you've got one of the best wingers in Wolves, Zaha down at left hand side, you would look to exploit someone who's 35 years old, but he's not just a 35-year-old. He's James Milner. He's not 35. He's the age of 35, but the body of an 18-year-old, shall we say. So Jordan Henderson, yeah, I thought was really good. Didn't get himself a goal today. And now that goal he scored against AC Milan has been forgotten about because Naby Keita just scored an absolute screamer, which we shall move on to later in the show. If I can get SofaScore back up again, we'll have a quick look at Jordan Henderson. Want to close Fabinho. Obviously picks up a yellow card, Jordan Henderson, and I think it was pretty fair. It was one of those classical tactical fouls. About 88 minutes played. 3 key passes within the game. Long balls, 2 out of 2. He's looking to play those around the corner for Mohamed Salah. I thought, again, his link-up play and attacking as well, which we're starting to see. Actually, no matter who we seem to play at him, and it's something Errol picked up on, is the link-up play and the way Liverpool play always seems to be the same. So we're playing little triangles of passes between Milner, Henderson and Mohamed Salah, and then just waiting, being patient and waiting for that right moment to throw the ball into the box. 5 out of 10 ground duels, 1 out of 1 aerial duels, and was fouled twice, and obviously gets the 1 clearance as well. So I think we can all be happy with Jordan Henderson's performance, and he got himself a little standing ovation as well. For man of the match, it was either Thiago or Allison. That's fair enough. Jeans2311 says Hendo was immense. The triangle between Mo, Hendo and Millie was awesome, as I've just mentioned. Liam Lawrence, Hendo was everywhere. What a guy. Hendo got to do what Hendo got to do. Boss man, 8 for me. Yeah, okay, 8 workhorse. We'll go for an 8 for Jordan Henderson on there as well. Moving on to the front 3. Who shall we go for first? Let's go with Sadio Mane. Gets his goal. He took his chance, and as Errol again pointed out on the watch long, he didn't have to think about it, which probably helped Sadio Mane. He's got to be in the right place at the right time to anticipate where that ball's going to fall to him. I don't think it was the best clearance from the goalkeeper. As we saw, it was almost a mirror of the Diogo Jota chance that he had. Doesn't think about it. The angle's against him as well, and he absolutely rifles it into the back of the net. So I think we have so far this season seen Sadio Mane of old. Now I know his chances that he's converting, people aren't happy with, and I agree with that. But I think the fact that the drive, the ruggedness, there was a moment in that game as well. We had 3 players around him. He falls on the floor. He looks like he's going to win a free kick, and the next second he gets up and he's off, and he's got the ball. That's Sadio Mane that I don't think he's ever gone away of the determination, graft that he puts in, and he's looking to create. Again, I think the way Liverpool have been playing so far this season, the fact that because we've had we've had the midfield and we've had the defence back. We're able to play the way that Liverpool played the season before. So Kostas tsimikas can bomb up. Kostas tsimikas can come inside, outside, again for Thiago being an outlet for him. And it's buying time for Sadio Mane. It's buying time for Mohamed Salah equally down the other side. And we're starting to see much better performances from them and them starting to echo the way that they played previous seasons. 2Plaque+2, that's an exceptional YouTube name, says Mane smiling again, good to see, 8 out of 10. Sadio 8, Mane super sharp today. Obviously he's now in the 100 club himself actually, just behind obviously Mohamed Salah. So yeah, fair play for Sadio Mane for that one. Alex Rugby, Sadio was 9 out of 10 today. Ahmed Matar saying 7.5. Abdi Noor says Sadio loves scoring at Crystal Palace, 9 for me. Yeah, I think 8's probably middle ground for that one as well. Again, you could argue either way, but who really cares? It's just numbers and plays and opinions. Who's asked? Diogo Jota. Diogo. Missed an absolute sitter, and he's probably very fortunate that we're sat here with a 3-0 win, because had we drawn that game, or God forbid, if we'd lost that game, we'd be talking about it a lot more. It's just not like him. There's one person you out of these three, maybe actually it's Salah, but 2 yards out, like pick any space in that goal, whether it be hard, whether you just have to tap it in, send the keeper the way, take a touch, let the keeper fall over and put it in. It's just wasteful. We're talking about Liverpool being clinical, and putting chances away. That was a glorious chance. He had one which is very similar, but it was obviously a lot more difficult on the towards the left-hand side of the goal. And he went for power. So he didn't learn from that one and tried to do it again, but the angle was slightly tougher on that one as well. So he tends to kind of not be as heavily as involved. Now, I thought he was very good the other day when he was playing out on the left. But South Central, obviously drops picks pockets of space. And again, the defensive work that he's putting in as well. I think Liverpool playing as a unit has been one of my favourite things to see so far. A lot of harsh ones coming in. Jota is a 5, 6.5, 6.5, a 5, 7. Jota was sharp, 7. The sign Sin says Jota 5 out of 10. Poor performance, sadly, off the pace, not just the miss sitter. Okay, that's fair enough. Jota, if he's not scoring, is really a workhorse. Is generally better off first half or off the ball stuff, I think, as well. I think maybe he gets tired. Ed Sexton said he still ran his arse off, though, in fairness. I think 5's too harsh, but I don't think we can look past that city that he missed. So I'm going to give him a 6.5. Mohamed Salah, another game, another goal, could have some more. Again, I mentioned that attacking display, where the fact that people are taking plays away from him is buying him 5 yards, and it's giving Mohamed Salah some options to think about what he wants to do, whether he wants to drive towards the byline, whether he wants to cut inside, whether he wants to do little give and goes, those triangular passing between him, Milner and Henderson. Amazing. Again, he could have had 2 goals. I think he has a glorious chance. Very similar to the goal that he scored, actually. He's on that far post for the outswinging corners. Free. The first one he tried to absolutely lash his left boot at it, completely misjudges it, but it turned out it was a bit of a warm-up and it paid off quite well. I think the Sadio Mane goal, it's Salah again from a set piece, left unmarked. Actually, Crystal Palace didn't learn from their mistakes, heads it towards goal, Guaita pushes it away and Sadio Mane does the rest of it. And then again, he gets his goal, it's on the far post, and then he'd already had wanted to size one up, and then he made no mistake for the second one, and he showed how much it meant to him. The fact that before the ball he went in the back of the net, he was top off. Can't look at me. One of the just best players that ever to play for this club. Really hope his contract gets sorted out soon, because just paying whatever he wants. Because I think he's just brilliant. Okay, some of your comments coming in now. Just people just spamming 10. Someone said 11. Keira O'Neill says 1,111. The scale only goes to 10. In fact, it can be whatever you want, actually. 10. His dribbling was superb today. Yeah. I think I'm going to give him a 9, because I think 9's fair. Not that he did anything wrong, to be fair to him, but I think him and Milner were both of a standard, and Allison, becker as well. Shouts to man of the match from Mohamed Salah in the comments there as well. Salah Keita, let's start with him. I don't know what to say. I've watched that goal back about 30, 40 times in between shows. I absolutely, he had a right to hit it, but I don't get any right to get that sweet connection and put it in the back of the net. Just before his goal, actually, I think we're starting to see some of, he maintained intensity within that game when Thiago went off. I think that's something we saw from Crystal Palace when they made substitutions. They had that extra drive of energy, and I thought they got the better of us for a good 10-15 minutes within that game. We brought Salah Keita on. He's there, down this left channel, helping out Kostas, tsimikas, you know, and not afraid to go past players as well. But I just can't get past his goal. His goal, oh my god, like nearly had my own top off inside the studio. Just like I want to see the reaction of me and Errol back, because not only his goal, just the Eric Cantona, like if you're familiar with that reference of just like the, I'm not sure whether he's bemused by his own shot and gone, oh shit, what have I done? Or he's just like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, that's in my locker. Yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing from Salah Keita. Friend of our friend saying 8, Naby lad. 9s, 8s, 8s. Yeah, let's give him an 8. An 8 and a goal of the month. Goal of the month potential, maybe season contender in there as well. Bear with me 2 seconds before we move on to Curtis Jones, because I've run out of pads. Let's see, my little wipe. You talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds. Curtis Jones, actually, I thought, again, similar to Salah Keita, we're looking for someone to bring something to the game. I've said this quite a few times about Curtis Jones. The fact that his ability to get his head up and run, I really like that about him. He's not afraid to drop a shoulder, go past a man. But equally, I think his composure for someone of his age as well. There was moments where we just needed the game to calm down in that sense. And I thought he brought a little bit of that, whether we won possession back within our own half. It wasn't, okay, the pass in front of me isn't on. I'll just stop, I'll turn, and we'll calm things down a little bit. Yeah, I don't think he did too much wrong for me in Curtis Jones. Someone saying a 7. Nothing wrong. I don't think he was on for that long either. 8 out of 10. Danny Debay says, yeah, 8. Jones held the ball up really well, as we just mentioned there. Just put your vote in once, mate, Danny, because I can see it quite a few times there. On the same comment again. Yeah, let's give him a 7.5. Again, nothing wrong. Solid performance from Curtis Jones, and good to see as well. Good to see we've got some different options in there as well. You know, on the options on the bench that we didn't use, and even those ones, Joel Matip and Trent Alexander, which weren't involved. Divock Origi, I know for a matter of moments, I think it was about 4 or 5 minutes he was on for in the end. But again, it's nice to see him. He's recovered from the cramps that he suffered against AC Milan. It's absolutely mad the fact that, and I'm going to speak for myself here, that when he's named in the AC Milan side against AC Milan, I go, I'm not really sure about that. Then he performs well, and then a couple of days later, I'm going sound. He's on the bench, and I'm fine when he comes on. That's me being a fickle football fan and not knowing anything about football. But again, you know, Liverpool trying to see out a win there, and one of the things that stuck out to me from his performance is his defensive display that he put on. You know, he's in the dying minutes of the game. He's there inside the box, clearing the ball, and you know, just giving James Milner an extra bit of support when he's probably blowing smoke out his arse. So fair play to Divock Origi for coming in and doing a job, and you know, being part of the team as in a least patronising way. Yeah. Divock Origi not enough to be rated for me. Divock 10 for that overhead kick. What a man! Yeah, Div 7 for his defending. Yeah, let's just give him Div did bits. Is one of the comments in there. Someone saying Billy Little saying Mo's had 5 yellows, and he's still to show a monthly player of the month since February. Do you know what? I saw a stat before. Mohamed Salah's been booked 3 times to Liverpool, and each one of those times for taking his top off. It's Crossbow with a super chat. Thank you very much. £1.79 said Origi just needs his dreadlocks, and he'd be great forever. Yeah, no rating for Divock Origi. I'm just going to lash up a 7 on the board because you probably shouldn't get one because he didn't play that much. But yeah, that has been the player ratings for Liverpool 3, Crystal Palace 0. There has been a man of the match. Tom Dutton is going to shout to me. Huh? Henderson. Jordan Henderson? What? Henderson, then Salah, okay. Henderson, but then Salah. So Jordan Henderson has picked up your man of the match. I think you might have won it for AC Milan as well. Fine, there's a number of players you could have picked there. I think you don't think you could go wrong. Personally, I would have gone with James Milner. If you went with Mohamed Salah, no arguments there. So Gene213 said, great show, lads. Stay with us, because me and Errol are going to be back with an instant match reaction. We're going to do 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. Might treat you and spoil you. Just talking through the key points of that game before Paul, Chris and Errol will be back on Monday with a final word show for a full hour to go in depth. So you can join the redmentv.com for that. Documentaries, exclusive interviews, and a whole host of pre and post match content as well. Honestly, it's worth every single penny. The price of a pint, £5, and you get 20 plus hours of content, podcast or video. What's not to like? Thank you very much. And once more, we're just going to plug the fact that Paul and Chris are going to Vancouver to go and have a lovely time and go on a lash for 3 days while I stay in the office. But yeah, I hope they have a lovely time, and I really, really mean that. If you want tickets and you want to go and you want to see a bit more about that, Tom has lined up a trailer for that. Please do check it out, and I'll be back very, very soon. Thank you.
In November this year, Cop Connect will present Cop Canada.
A 3-day fan event
For Reds all over the world.
With former Liverpool players and live music in the world-class city of Vancouver.
So, if your heart's as big as Liverpool,
we'll see you there. Cop Canada is on the 5th to the 7th of November. Tickets are on sale now. copconnect.com. You'll never walk alone.